regular board meeting. It's Tuesday, August 12th, 2025 at 6 p.m. Well, now I have the invocation and the pledge. Mr. Bachman, if you'll lead us with an invocation, and Mr. Tyner, if you'll do the pledge. Sorry.
Lord, we just thank you for this opportunity to come together and to do our best to serve this community. Pray that you make us aware of your will for our lives and give us the strength to complete that will. Just pray in Jesus' name, amen. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll now have the citizen comments, and I have the first one is Miss Levy.
Hi, I'm Sandra Levy, 311 West Broad Street. I came to speak today because I was concerned about the limits that you put on citizens' comments. I don't think when we created this board that we ever thought that there would be a time or an event occur that would create a place where citizens didn't have the time to present a project or their thoughts. And I just would like for y'all to reconsider that time limit. I think there are people that, that have presentations for businesses or whatever that might want to come before y'all that might need more than 2 minutes to get their point across. I can understand that there's been adversarial things that have happened to this board and other boards, but I wish you would, I guess, err to the side of, free speech for the people that really want to present projects that this group might be interested in.
Thank you, Ms. Levy. The next one is Ms. Oldham.
Good evening, Melanie Oldham. I want to say I really miss Josh Mitchell. He was a great president. I really respect Ken Tyner and Sandra Loaiza. I don't know the two EDC board members, but I'm hoping that you will be open and transparent. We haven't always had that in the past. For one thing, I know, Mr. Kane, you're big, and you always talk about city council, that the public and the council needs to have supporting documents. I talked to Mr. Johnson about that. Since he became executive director, there's not been one piece of supporting documents for the public with the agenda, and I asked him why. He said that your attorney with Olson & Olson said, no, I understand they can't put anything confidential in there for the public, but that's going to the extreme, and I think Mr. Kane believes that and understands too, that you can't just, if you don't want to hear our vision, that you just say, no, nobody's going to get any supporting documents. And the fact that the previous president and others said we are going to work towards going to more, 4, maybe up to 5 minutes, just like Freeport, other governmental entities have done. But I heard that y'all voted, I don't know if everybody did, to decrease the time down to 2 minutes. And some of you may not want to hear what I have to say, and yeah, you don't. But, my friend Shonda Marshall was hurt by you, and that's why I mentioned it at one time. I can't help it. My friend is Shonda, and she should be on this board. But the thing is, I know, Ken, you always say, Melanie, say something positive about what we've done. And I've been going through all the minutes. I can't find, other than y'all give out those small business grants, that's positive. But as far as what's been listed in the 70K study that we got from UT San Antonio, there's been no progress. It breaks it down. EDC should be doing this, City Council this, Main Street this. So I'm just saying, I would request that Mr. Johnson makes a full report to the City Council and to you and the public on what has been accomplished by the EDC. That's it.
Ms. Lopez.
Good evening. I'm Betty Lopez, 204 West Park Avenue in Freeport. And I'm here because the last couple of days I've been privileged to serve over at AP Boydell. And they're so steeped in tradition at that little elementary school. And it was a real pleasure to become a PTO grandmother and to start learning about all the things that they do for our children and the teachers. And it got me thinking about traditions. They don't just fall out of the sky. They happen with a purpose. They happen with people. They happen with families. They happen with events. And typically there's food involved, right? I like food. You can tell by looking at me. There's usually food involved in traditions. And so I'm here to encourage each and every one of you that if we have the opportunity to get some food back down there to the historic downtown Freeport, we had it once, and through a series of events beyond anybody's control, it shriveled up and went away. But if we have an opportunity, I think it would be great, because with food, then you have music, you have art, you have entertainment, you have retail, you have those other things that follow, but it starts with food. It starts with those traditions of people going down there and meeting. So if we have some people here who have the expertise, who have the business know-how, who are successful business owners, and they've got the energy, they've got the resources, they've got the know-all, but most importantly, the passion to make a go of it down there, I would encourage each and every one of you to please support that. I commend people who want to do that, embark on those kind of adventures, and I just encourage every one of you, because, I mean, think about it. A new little place to eat, this community goes crazy. The entire Brazosport community, over new places to eat, and then when you prove yourself, it becomes a habit, and it becomes a tradition, and I'm all for creating new traditions in Freeport. Thank you.
Moving on, we'll go to the consent agenda and approve the meeting minutes for July the 8th, 2025. Do I have a motion for that? Approving those minutes for July 8th, 2025?
I'll make that motion to approve the minutes on that date as presented.
Thank you, Mr. Tyner. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Martin is a second. Do we have any final comments about that or anything, the agenda? Then we'll conduct the vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Passes unanimously. Second item is approve the correction to minutes on May 13th, 2025. Robert?
Yes, Mr. President, there was additional verbiage added to the minutes that was meant to contextualize what was happening, but it was basically speaking about the last month, and that read like it happened in May, but it was speaking about what happened in April. So out of an abundance of caution, we redid those minutes and corrected that extra language and took it out. And so I just, like I said, out of an overabundance of caution, I'd ask the board to reapprove those minutes.
Okay. Do I have a motion on the floor for that? To approve the correction to the meeting minutes for May 13th, 2025.
I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Mr. Tyner's a second. We'll conduct the vote. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All those opposed? Passes unanimously. The third item on the consent agenda is approve the financials. Ms. Hurst.
Good evening, everyone. The financial report is through the period ending July 31st, 2025. Sales tax was received in July for May of 2025. The EDC received $101,676, which is an increase when compared to the same month last year. Currently, the EDC has received $6,673 more dollars in sales tax when compared to the same time period last fiscal year. As of July 31st, the fund balance for Fund 30 revenues were over expenditures by $596,640. The fund balance for the Projects Fund 31 was $1,611,799. The fund balance for the Marketing Fund 33 was $204,817. And the fund balance for the TERS Fund was $896,633. This is a little bit lower by $45,219 than what was previously reported due to miscalculations being found in the January and August 2024 payments. It was corrected and the fund balance was restated to $570,587. And then $2,409 in interest was earned in July, and that is the difference.
Very good. Do I have a motion to approve the financials? Mr. Bachman, do I have a second?
I second.
Ms. Louisa has a second. Call the vote. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Passes unanimously. We're on to discussion and action items. Item number 1 is discuss and take possible action on investment pool signatures. Ms. Hurst.
Yes, sir. So it's actually the operating accounts with the Texas Gulf Bank. We now that you're president, we need to get those the signatories updated. All of the board members, as well as the executive director and the finance director, are listed on the bank account. This resolution tonight would allow for the replacement of the former president, Mr. Mitchell, to be the current president, Mr. Parker.
Okay. Any other discussion on that? So am I the only one that needs to sign? Is that right?
No, sir. Everybody will have to sign
Everybody
again.
have to resig, okay. Any other comments? Do we need to vote on that? Okay. Is there any other discussion? I'll call the vote. All those in favor, say aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. Passes unanimously. Second item is discuss an update on Terracon. Ms. Hurst and Mr. Johnson.
Do you want to take it? No, you go. Okay. So we had our first kickoff call with Terracon. They're very knowledgeable with the Brownsfield grant. So we're very much looking forward to working with them. I personally am very excited as they handle all of our reporting also, and I didn't know that. So so they're working on getting their logins, and so there's a couple quarterly reports that will need to be filed, and then we are ready to kick off. We'll get an action plan going and hopefully have some more updates, but we are starting to see the wheels move now.
Yes, and if I can add, we met with them. This is the EPA grant for $500,000 that we received. And Terracon, when Tim Kelty and I first approached, were the ones that wrote the application. So they're very knowledgeable about our application. So that's a second plus. And it's I'll just say, note, it's been a pleasure working with the city on this grant. We're really excited about the potential of what we can do with it.
Are there any other comments?
Would this affect, like the, what's the Superfund site we've got out there on Marlin in Bridge Harbor?
Yes, Mr. Bachman, it could. When we filled out the application, we chose 2 land pieces just to get the application through. However, that part, I was told, is interchangeable. So if you find a property that you'd like to investigate more than the one you picked, you can do that. So absolutely. We chose the Walker Royal property with his consent, of course, and the old train station, train depot, property. And those were the 2 chosen, but again, we can use another one if need be.
Living out there, we're concerned whenever we drive past those signs that this is an EPA Superfund site. And on one side of the road, the other side from where the signs are, there's actually
Ron, turn the mic on.
Oh, I thought it was on. Let me get closer. Okay, so when we drive down the road, Marlin Road, we see the Superfund sites on one side, and then there's a bunch of undeveloped property on the other. And I know just recently, somebody's been moving a lot of dirt around on the coastal side, and we don't know what's going on out there, but not sure if, if they've got permits or if they're just gonna stir up the problem or what. But it'd be nice to be able to bring some of that stuff to a closure sometime.
Yeah, I think the Terracon guys, definitely, we could put that in their bailiwick as well. Because with the Walker Royal and the old train thing. Depot.
Land.
Just to interject a little bit, when I used to entertain dredging out there nearby Bridge Harbor, that Superfund site is because they buried barrels there, and that is still there. They've covered that area with clay, and you just don't dig there. They have some testing locations, but I don't see how that could ever be elevated to something that would receive any kind of development. South side, coastal side of Marlin, it had previously been used by Gulf Coast Marine, and they did sandblast barges, and so some of that paint had vanadium in it, and they've since gone through there. And I, having lived close to there, have done some personal testing in the waters, and there's not enough there now to be of concern. So that's why I think they're probably thinking about moving a project forward on the south side of Marlin. I'm not aware if they have the permits to move the dirt, but it's mainly topsoil right now.
Is that a phase 1 that was done, or was it just personal testing, or?
Oh, when I did it, well, I was a state certified geoscientist, and I sent those tests off to Mercury Environmental, and there was no level of PCB, heavy metals, pesticides, or PCBs in the mud, in the canals, in the vicinity of the Bridge Harbor development. Now, all that stuff on the north side of Gulf Coast, that's bad stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's the old salt domes. And we used to pump methylene chloride over there and store it. So, yeah. But I think the Terracon deal is really a good deal. I'm very excited about that, just like you are, Ashley. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley.
Third item is discuss and update Main Street.
Yes, Mr. President, tonight we'd like to introduce our new Main Street manager, and with her are Ana Silbas, who we know very well as the former Main Street manager, and Irene Ocañas. I'm sorry. Ocañas.
Everybody butchers it. Good evening. I'm Irene Ocañas, and I'm the Freeport Main Street chairman. And I have the pleasure of introducing Maria Lopez. As you can see, she is very personable, has a wonderful smile. We looked long and hard for someone, but she does have the skills that we were looking for. She has a background in mass communications. She has experience with video production, experience with training volunteers, She has a vendor market that I believe that's still currently going on, and she's fully bilingual in English and Spanish. So we are excited. I know she's ready and has already hit the ground running, and but I'll let her say just a few words.
Yes, of course. Hi, everyone. I am very excited to be part of Freeport. I am looking forward for new projects. I've already started getting acquainted with the program, with the team, and any upcoming projects as well. And I am going to work really hard to give an image to Main Street. So that's going to be one of my main goals starting. I do want to work in spreading the message to the public, especially in Freeport and our citizens as well, so that way they're aware of what's coming and what we have in downtown. But thank you, I appreciate it.
Thank you, Ms. Lopez. Thank you, Ms. O'Connor. I'm excited too. And I know Ms. Silvas is, for sure.
Mr. President, did we need to approve anything on that Terracon?
I don't believe so, no, sir.
No, sir.
Not tonight?
Nope.
All right.
And item number 4 is discuss an update on technology improvements to security. Mr. Cohen.
Good evening. So just wanted to go over a couple quick things. There are some fairly big technology changes coming in fiscal 25 or 26 now. 26. Fiscal 26, my apologies. One of those being we're going to be migrating email from one tenant to a more secure tenant. It's going to have increased security, be more compliant with a lot of state legislature. It's not really going to affect the EDC as much on that side, but it is going to be a more secure location. Zero cost change. It's not a cost increase. As well as we're going to be replacing some of the software that's becoming end of life at the end of this year. So that's going to be a main thing. I know Mr. Johnson wanted me to speak on some of the things we've done in conjunction with the EDC and with the technology department. We've done a lot of good things this year. One of the main ones I want to point some light on is we were able to correct the geodata for our beach location to correct name to match the wayfinding sign. As of last month, I think we hit 500,000 views for the beach. So it's getting a lot of traffic online. A lot of people love posting that new sign up right there on the dunes.
That's the sign that we put up as a project, as a board, about 2 years ago now. The sign that says Freeport, Bryan Beach.
Yep. So that sign gets a lot of visibility. The visitors love taking pictures of it and showing it on their visit. We get a lot of very high ratings, honestly, on average of 4 or 5 for every visitor. And that's most of my updates. I don't know if we wanted to.
Well, I'd just add, it's been a pleasure working with Toby. That the beach was near and dear to all of our hearts as far as putting up that sign and the sidewalk, and people truly do take their pictures by it. But more important, well, then that's important, but also importantly is that Toby was able to correct, when you look that up on Google Maps, it took you to either Lake Jackson, like no beach whatsoever, or it took you to somewhere near the police station here. And it was all that was wrong. Toby did a lot of back and forth with Google, I guess, with Google to get that. So now if you look up Freeport Bryan Beach or Freeport Beach, it'll take you to that. It'll have pictures of the sign. It'll have our beach advertised. And how many hits did you say it was?
500,000.
Yeah, 500,000 people have looked at it. So
We actually get monthly reports now where we can see visitation and what people are searching for when they come across it, or directions that they're looking for. I know. Me personally, I've tried going out there before I was more familiar with the area, and the map directions took me to like the Army Corps of Engineers entrance, which is very much like, do not enter, keep out.
yeah.
So any directions that lead you now to the actual beach entrance on the official address for it.
So all that is corrected now.
Any discussions? Toby, I have a question. Where are you keeping your mainframes? they located in this building, or you have another place for them?
Depends on which one you're talking about. As far as like, if we're talking EDC location, it's cloud architecture.
Okay, that's what I am wondering.
Yeah. Now, some of it's on premise, but for the majority of it's all cloud.
Okay.
And that's one of the migrations we're doing, is actually to be a more secure location.
Got it. Any other discussions? Thank you, Mr. Cohen, I appreciate it.
Y'all have a nice evening.
Next item is discuss and take possible action on a business improvement grant, Brazosport Cares.
Yes, tonight we have representatives from Brazosport Cares, Christy, to tell you about her grant proposal.
Good
Grant
evening.
application.
Thank you for having me this evening. I'm Christy Fry. I'm the Executive Director of Brazosport Cares. Also, I have Emily Fry with me here this evening. She does our fundraising for our organization. I see some familiar faces, so some of you may know who we are. We're actually a hunger relief organization. We've been operating for the last 40 years. Our mission is to feed Brazoria County's hungry through food distribution, education, collaboration, and advocacy. In the last 40 years, we have grown substantially. The last 30, we've actually been here in Freeport, and very happy to be in this community. Just to give you an example of our growth, in 2004, about 10 years ago, we served 200,000 meals. Last year, we served 1.8 million meals. Wow. And we anticipate hitting that mark and exceeding it again this year. So as you can see, the need continues to grow in our community. We're now actually serving more families than we did during COVID, which I never thought that would be possible, but every day more and more families are walking in, seniors who are living on fixed incomes, mostly working families who just cannot make ends meet in the current economy, doing everything right that they're supposed to be doing, but just not able to make ends meet, and we're really happy that we can serve them. Several years ago, our board did a new strategic plan, and they set out 3 different goals. The first one was we want to be able to serve more neighbors. We want to have a bigger food pantry. We need larger storage area in order to provide more healthy food for our families. We don't want to just give any kind of food. We want food that supports their health. We also wanted to have a more holistic approach to hunger. We wanted to be able to provide services and connect individuals with other social service organizations that can move them to self-sufficiency and kind of provide them a safe space to move forward. And lastly, in the food industry, you all hear a lot about food waste and how much is thrown away. So one of our goals was to implement programs that were more sustainable and that we had less food waste. After looking at these goals, the board and I came to the decision that it was time to expand our existing location here in Freeport. We were really excited about the opportunity to do this expansion. It would be next door to our current facility. We thought it was very important to maintain a Freeport location. We serve quite a few of the citizens, your neighbors, your coworkers, your friends in this neighborhood, and we thought it was really important to stay here. This project would also significantly increase our food pantry to be able to serve more families every day and extend our hours. We'll also be able to have additional space for more volunteers in this space. Our current facility is a 1960s car dealership. If you haven't, I'm sure you've all driven by it. We've got some really big garage doors. It's kind of hard to keep cold, and this time of year, and it's really hard to keep it warm in the summertime. So it presents a lot of challenges, and we truly hit capacity probably 5 or 6 years ago, and that was kind of the precipice to make this decision to move forward. The total estimated project cost is $2.7 million for this expansion. We have had a capital campaign going on for the past several years, and to date we have funds pledged just over $2.5 million. Those include our industry leaders, Freeport LNG, Dow Chemical, ME Global, Phillips 66, and BASF as leadership gifts. We also have a $500,000 grant from the Maybe Foundation, and the remaining pledges are from our community individuals and businesses. We do have about $157,000 left to raise for this project. We are working with First National Bank of Lake Jackson. They have provided a construction loan for us, and we will transition that to a mortgage once the construction is done, and the pledges as they come in. They are all on a 3 to 5 year payment plan, so we anticipate everything being paid off by 2028. I'm here today to ask the EDC board to consider a grant to assist with the expansion of our building. The first would be a facade improvement, which would include storefront exterior windows and doors and motion sensing sliding doors, which would allow our clients to come and go with their grocery carts very easily. The estimated cost for this project is $113,688, and we estimate that the completion of that project to be done November 2025. The second request is for sign improvement on the expansion. The estimated costs are $15,000, and that would be completed early January 2026. Lastly, we're asking for a property improvement to construct parking around the expanded facility and the old facility. The estimated costs are $155,310, and the completion of that should be late August, early September. That should be happening quickly. So I thank you for your consideration to this project. Any questions?
Thank you so much. You guys have been busy.
We have been busy, and
I'm
sometimes I
telling you.
realize why we're so tired.
I'm telling you. Any discussion?
I've got a question. I think I know the answer. So I'm looking at the application here, and everywhere that you said completion date, the application is showing that's the start date, and the completion's a few months later. Did I just misunderstand that, or?
It should be, it's probably starting completion are pretty close together.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they'll put the sign, they'll get the signs ordered and put in early January.
Okay.
Yeah, so they're pretty close together.
All right.
And we are actually just a little bit ahead of schedule on the project. We should finish late January, early February, depending upon the weather. So keep your fingers
Yeah,
crossed.
well, and that lines up with the application, so, and like I say, your start and completion dates are so close together, it's really not an issue. I was just wondering, how am I misunderstanding
No.
this? Okey-doke, thanks.
Any other discussion?
I just want to say thank you. Y'all do a phenomenal job.
Well, thank you for your
I've been there a
support,
number
Ronnie.
of times with donations, but y'all do a phenomenal job, and y'all have a huge task in this county and in this area. So congratulations on getting your money.
Yeah, we're excited to kind of take this next step forward to be able to serve our neighbors, right? They're the people that we work with and worship with and their everyday life, so.
Any other discussion?
Yes, Mr. President, I would note, and Ron was making a very good point, the completion date is 2026, which is right, by the time the thing is signed, it'll be 6 months, because it'll take a couple weeks to write and then get everybody signed. So I'm projecting September 1st. I would ask the board, so that we don't need to reconvene to extend the grant, to extend it now to 9 months rather than the 6 that are in the contract. It says work must be completed 6 months from the signatory date. And when if at the board's pleasure, if you make your motion to approve this grant, I would recommend putting in 3 extra months, to say 9 months from the signatory date, just as so that we don't run into a problem.
Okay, understand. Any other discussion? I entertain a motion, and the motion would be that we would approve the grant and add another 3 months past the signatory date.
The grant for $23,500.
And the bottom line was 23.5? Okay, yeah,
I'll make
Got a
that
motion?
motion to extend it for the extra 3 months.
Mr. Tyner makes the motion. Do I have a second? And Mr. Bachman?
Yeah.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? That's
Thank
it.
you.
Passed unanimously. Thank you, guys. Great work, great work. Okay, that brings us down to discuss and take possible action on staff wayfinding efforts. Robert?
Yes, Mr. President, in our budget that's winding through, we've got $150,000 for wayfinding efforts and signage and marketing the city. And we've been talking about this idea for a little bit now. We've investigated some companies, and the one that could do everything that we need it to do is Clark Condon. Clark Condon is the one that worked with Angleton on their rebranding, and you look at the A on the water tower in the purple, and Pearland with the pears, and also Texas City, I believe. I'm sorry, Port Arthur rather than Texas City. Basically, the deliverables that they could give, they set out a price. There would be phases to this project, but he cautioned me that, you know, a lot of people are saying we need to look at changing our logo. And he said, before you start putting up signs, you better like your logo, of course, so that you don't say, oh, I don't like that logo, and we got to replace all the signs. So, and I'm going to read here. The fee, and this was in 2020, it was $95,000 for Port Arthur, so that's an estimate. Probably, he told me it'd probably be somewhere 100 or just north of that, which would fit our budget for fiscal year 2026. The scope of work, the City of Port Arthur Wayfinding and Monument Signage Program in Jefferson County. The proposed signage and wayfinding programs includes thoroughfare, gateway signs, directional destination signs, building identification, pedestrian wayfinding, and monument signs. The landscape architect shall be responsible for providing landscape architectural design and documentation services for the project. This shall be accomplished by working closely with the client and design team. The scope of work includes design and documentation for the following: project startup, programming, visioning, and meetings, signage design, gateway, directional, informational, pedestrian signage, and building identification monument signs, cost estimating and phasing, and then final presentation and booklet. The specific tasks to develop the wayfinding and monument signage program are outlined below. The scope shall be research and collection of information, imagery, maps, basically designing the logo. And then the landscape architect leads the kickoff meeting with the client team and design team and reviews the project goals, programming, timeline, seeing where all the different, you know, we've got the map from 2019 that we passed around at one of the meetings. How would that need to be updated and all that kind of stuff? And then they do visioning workshops with the communities or with the community, meetings to facilitate and attend visioning and stakeholder meetings, and then signage design, and then the final presentation and booklet. And then there would be a phase 2 probably in the next fiscal year that we could talk about. But I'd recommend moving forward with Clark Condon. We've got it, you know, in the budget for October 1st. But those are the people out of many that we selected. Most of them only could do building the sign. But what the previous city manager and different folks said at the initial meetings that we had for this, and I think even the board, was that we'd like to reevaluate our current logo that's on the water tower, or our current, you know, Freeport with the busy. It's very busy and very hard to see on a smaller sign. Go ahead.
Sorry, while he was in the meeting, he was saying, like, specific to the Freeport logo, that the word Freeport would be fine to be able to put on a sign. But if he was to try to take our current one, it would have to be put on a 20-foot tall sign just to be able to get all the little details. And it's great on paper and on the website, but anywhere else, if you were to try to put it like on a shirt or something like that, you probably talk to a print person and notice they might have difficulties with it, but it's difficult on anywhere other than paper or a website to do the logo.
So I'm looking at what I think's the logo. It says Freeport and has palm trees coming out
Yes.
the top, and the city of.
Yes.
So I'm guessing we just need to cut off those palm trees. I'm sorry being blunt, but
Huh? No, that's, we don't need to. Well, would anybody like to see a sample? Would anybody like to see a sample of what they did in Port Arthur and how the sign development went? Is that necessary? No? Sure? Okay.
Let's look at it. I looked at the renderings that they did in Angleton. And
Yeah.
are these the same guy that
They're
did
the
the stuff
same
in
ones.
Pearland?
Yes.
You know, some of that stuff is out of bounds. I mean, it's really, really, really well done.
Out of bounds in a good way.
Yes.
Yes.
So what is our bottom line we're looking at here, Robert?
Well, we budgeted next for October 1st when the new budget kicks in, provided the council passes it. The budget would be $150,000 for this. This, Clark Condon, the phase one of what they're recommending would fall within that. What we can do, we can either pass this tonight, or this discussion happened yesterday. The final discussions with the Clark Condon representatives. Again, we were looking at other signage companies, but vastly inferior, exactly as you're saying, and also the landscaping, the design stuff wasn't in there. It was just, here's your wayfinding, you know, and we can erect these signs. But when I realized this first phase fit into what we wanted, and I heard, you know, it's completely defensible logic to me to say you want to look at your logo before you start messing around with doing signs, because then you're in it for good. And so what we can do is have this gentleman present at next month's meeting if we can get him down here. That would be an option, or we can just say proceed tonight.
I'd like to have him come down and talk to us. Okay. You know, see some renderings, because I'm sure he's got some renderings and some ideas, and kind of give us an idea, just like this Port Arthur draft.
Right. No, it's very good work, and I think to see it in action, all you need to do is go up to Angleton. I think they did an amazing job.
Mm-hmm.
And it's still being worked on. They still they're doing it like we would, which is in phases.
I'm guessing city council's gonna have to sign off on a new logo, or would it be some other group?
Yes, we'd be working with the current city manager and council, and again, that's why you have the group meetings and all that, to get input from the public on what they want, et cetera. But I just think that there's a you know, shelf life on our logo that we've got, and I'm not trying to insult anybody that created or anything, but it's very busy. When I was at the Texas Historical Commission, we used to do a lot of wayfinding projects and landscape architecture and things like that, and ours is extremely busy. When you're going 70 miles an hour, you've got that long to catch it, and it's got to be something that catches the eye. If you look at the simplicity of the Angleton A on the water tower, there's a certain, if I may, dignity in that simplicity.
I agree. Any other discussion? Karen? Sandra, I know you've got to talk about signage.
No, I agree. I would like to have someone present, what's the name of the company, Clark?
Clark Condon.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt, and I think the design change would be a good idea.
Okay, we'll get that set up. There's no need for a motion on that. We're gonna go with Clark Condon, and we'll have them see if we can get them to present next month at the correct meeting time,
Yeah.
which you may want to talk about.
Okay. Very good. Thank you. Moving on, we're at item number 7, discuss and take possible action on a Freeport entry sign.
Yes, Mr. President, Winston Rosso at the last meeting was talking about the entryway sign on 288, and a lot of people, myself included, have noticed that's landscape architecture, but it very much blends in. I talked to Winston today and told him I was excited about his idea and that we were looking at wayfinding and signage and all that kind of stuff ourselves. And the sign that we have just very much so blends in to the background, and you almost not even notice it when you're coming in. He'd like to get that replaced with landscaping board, or what board is that? I'm forgetting the name of the board, but basically beautification board, thank you. The beautification board, and Rachel is trying to find it right now, on the street on your screen, so we'll just pause for a second while she does. This is you'll all probably recognize, this is the sign that we're talking about. Everybody recognize that? Okay, so we wanted to kind of look at that. Should it be replaced? Should it be modified? Should it be cleaned up? What can we do with that? And what I would propose is that the same architect that did the sign at the beach could look at that and redo it. Now, having said that, we may want to also give Clark Condon, I just know that Mr. Rosso is very chomping at the bit to get this sign and this entryway cleaned up, or redone, or something done to it, maybe even lighting, etc. And what I'm proposing is just to have an architect evaluate it, for, and say maybe give us a rendering for this is what you could do.
Thank you. I was thinking, I don't know about Windstorm, but if you could just take that Freeport guy and just move him up about two places.
Mm-hmm.
And that'd be pretty cool. If we could do it with Windstorm, I don't know, the deal with signage and that, but that'd be interesting. It wouldn't be that much expense, and then it'd be away from those trees and all that, and it'd kind of, to me, that's what I think.
So if you'd like, I'll contact him, and then we could budget it just out of professional services, which is already approved.
Okay.
Okay.
Any other comments?
So what happened to that lighting that used to be on that bridge? I guess it's beyond repair. It was a long time ago. It really looked good. No.
And they're not working.
No, there was lighting all
Yeah, there was
right
lighting
here.
all across
That
the
lit-
bridge.
The one on the bridge.
Yeah, it lit up. It really looked good. I mean, it was only like that for a short amount of time, but when it worked, it looked really nice coming in. I guess it's probably beyond repair.
I can get with Rudy in Public Works and find out
Doesn't
what the
hurt to
situation
ask.
is. I'll
Yeah.
definitely bring that back next month if you make a note, please.
Okay, thank you.
Any other comments?
I'd just say I'd support just modifying the existing sign.
Okay.
I mean, the first time I saw it, I said that's a little low.
Yeah.
You gotta, if it's up higher, you can see it from a further distance. You can also see the traffic, so you're not your eyes aren't pulled away from the road so much if it was up higher.
Mm-hmm.
But
I'll make that suggestion to him. I agree. I think that it doesn't need to be totally scrapped. It could be reworked in exciting ways. As a matter of fact, we all know his work because he did the beach sign, so he's very talented.
Any other comments? Moving down to item number 6, board and executive director comments. Mr. Botman, do you have any comments, sir? No, thank you. I know. And the next guy, Gary? Gary, you have any comments, Mr. Rury?
I have nothing to add at my first meeting. I can see that this runs pretty smoothly, and I don't want to interject anything that might change that path.
Mr. Martin?
No comment.
Miss Louisa?
I'm sorry, it's Ron and, this is first time I'm meeting both.
Ron and Gary.
Ron and Gary. Welcome, I'm sorry I missed the first meeting. Welcome to the board. We're happy to have you on. And also, I think maybe what we can discuss, I don't know if we, on the next meeting, we helped last year at the trunk or treat, and we donated candy, so that's gonna be coming in October, so it'll be here soon, so if we could try to contribute to that again, that'd be great. So, that's it. Thank you.
Yeah, I think these two new guys are going to, yeah, that's right, fit in. But we have a good board, and we appreciate you guys serving with us.
Any other comments from anybody? Well, I think so too. I thank you guys for taking the time. You guys are, I think you're going to be a great addition to the board. Really, excellent.
Thank you.
I appreciate that. Come on up.
Mr. President, may I just make a real brief data point that in my panic over the different time constraint that I failed to mention? Restaurants are an economic engine. According to the Texas Restaurant Association, for every dollar spent in a restaurant, $2.35 is returned to the state economy, and 3 to 4 times that stays in our local economy due to payroll and due to supplies that are purchased and due to the utilities, the electric, the water, and all those other things. So I wanted to be sure and make that point with you that restaurants really are an economic engine, and just bear that in mind if that opportunity ever presents itself.
Thank you, ma'am. Great.
Thank you.
Awesome. It is now,
Mr. President, you still have me.
where we at?
I've got some brief comments.
Oh, sorry, Robert.
No, that's okay. Next meeting, Mark will be out of town, and coming back on the 9th, correct? And so he's requested that we have our meeting on the 10th, if that's okay, or we can look at the following Tuesday, which is the September 16th. Either one you said would work, correct? Yes. So I don't know, does the 10th work for the majority of people? Yes, the following day? Okay, we'll have it on the 10th. And we'll send reminders to let everybody know that it's on the 10th. And that way Mark won't be suffering from jet lag and all that, and he get a little sleep.
Thanks, Robert.
Yes. Also, just briefly, the On the River is receiving their last permit so they can begin the work. That just needs to be paid for, and they're going to be going and blowing. Taco Bell and Starbucks made their yearly benchmarks, are being successful. All that information was verified, and they were awarded their yearly payment under the contract that each of them has. And so that's all I have, Mr. President.
Thanks, Robert. It's now 6:52 p.m. and I hereby recess the regular session of the Freeport Economic Development Corporation meeting and do hereby convene into executive session in compliance with Texas Government Code, Section 551.071 and Section 551.0.74 and 551.087. So we'll convene.